Does it?
Good. Does not taste like a caramel apple.
Does not? I'll have to pour me a little cup just to have a little flavor. A little flavor.
A little flavor.
I read the news today, a two-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just for the plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and you know they're all just spam. So buckle down, look right in, it crawls its way under your skin. Just got by all the things they spy, and you should give me that good news.
Why's that, Scott?
I'm tired of the same old shit.
What kind of new shit going on now that I'm tired of? Hey,
Yeah, right. I'm tired of all this shit.
That is it. Oh, that good news means it's time for the Grounds here, 21.6 The Net with Giles and Jones. The Grounds, the show that talks about anything from peanut butter politics, but no politics.
We stay away from politics as much as possible. But sometimes it's hard. You know what I mean?
We toe the line sometimes.
Right, we toe the line. It's hard. I
That
mean,
is.
but who wants to talk about that stuff? I mean, that's all everyone's talking about these days,
That's
and it just
right.
gets so grating. And
That's right. Again, of course, we just want to say that the Grounds is the most unique show here, 21.6 The Net. We ask you, the listener, to jump in live. We have a link out there, right? A URL. Copy that, put it in your web thingy do, and join us.
it's called a browser, right?
Whatever it is, I don't know. what it
Thingy
is.
do.
Thingy do on the interweb, and join us and be part of the show. We want to hear from you. It's just like a bunch of people sitting around chatting, having
Right.
coffee,
Yeah.
talking about something.
It's like a breakfast club, right? I mean,
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah,
wants
there
to
you go.
talk about the things that no one wants to
That's
talk
it.
about.
And of course, today's show brought to you through the wonderful financial support of our good friends over at Reese's Barkery and Paw-Teek. You see them right there on the screen. Absolutely check them out at reesesbarkery.com or give them a call. All the information's right there. 815. I can't read it because it's too far away.
363-7297.
There it is. Listen, high quality kibble, raw foods, bulk dog and cat food. Listen, if you don't want your dog or your fur babies to end up with cancer, no, you can't
You
say
just
that.
want them to be healthy.
You want them to be healthy, eat healthy, have a good shine on their coat, wag their tail and get excited about eating all the time.
Right.
Stop by Reese's and talk with them there. They will help you transition off of the
Current food
Current
that you're on,
food.
right.
yeah.
And we also do help recommendation wise. And, you know, I mean, it's not everybody knows everything about dogs or cats or what they're doing with
Right.
their animals. And that's what, you know, it's all about talking to people, figuring
That's
out
it.
what's right for your animal at the time. I mean, things change.
That's it. Pet
So-
CBD. Here's the other thing, and they have pet birthday cakes. You guys create
We
for
make
them.
we make custom birthday cakes
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Yep.
It's not like a cake. This is something that the dog really wants to eat, and it's not bad for it.
Right. Just like a big, huge dog cookie cake.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
awesome.
I mean, it's basic. We try to make everything as all natural as possible.
All natural.
You
It
know?
is a great place. They've expanded. It's a wonderful place. Stop by, check them out, or check them out at reesesbarkery.com.
reesesbarkery@outlook.com.
But that's email.
Oh,
Yeah, just if-
see how much
yeah,
I know about this
right.
tech stuff.
Right. If they just want to go online and order stuff.
Yeah.
reesesbarkery.com.
And we do deliver within 10-mile radius.
There you go.
So, but it, small, basic minimum charge. Though.
Yeah.
No delivery
Oh,
charge,
but-
no delivery charge, but just you have to spend a certain amount.
Gotta make it worth their while.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome back. You spent some time last week up in the snowbound
Yeah, they
Alps
still
of
got
Wisconsin.
they still almost got 4 feet up there. We're up in Crandon, Wisconsin.
Wow.
So yeah, we went up there to kind of get away and reassess and
Want to get away?
decompress.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I wanted to kind of chit chat a little bit about today and kind of start out. And who knows, we could be at Peanutbutter before we get halfway
We
through
could.
the show.
Hey, and Gary, good evening.
Yeah,
Hope you
good
had a
evening
great
from
Friday.
Singapore.
Our good friends in Singapore, jump on if you got time, brother. If not, totally understand. All right, the Decompress. What did you want? First of all, you love the snow. You sent pictures. They're gorgeous pictures.
Yeah.
And I just looked at now what I fell in love with. You sent me a couple shots and videos of that stream or
right.
river,
That was Menominee. Yeah,
Yeah.
Menominee. Yeah, those
Yeah.
rapids were amazing.
Yeah,
right?
it was really cool. But nothing about snow excites me. So I'm like, listen, it to me. Let me go up there in July, June.
Right.
And I'll be like, this is heaven. When
Right.
it's winter, no.
Well, and you're not different than a lot of people. I mean, generally when people go, snow is cold and miserable, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and it can be.
Yeah.
It can be. The nice thing I like about snow is it's so calm. It's so serene. There's like no noise whatsoever. Like, it really muffles everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the bitter cold either.
Yeah.
I like the snow. I like the beauty of it. And as you could see by those pictures and everything I sent back, it's absolutely stunning
Yeah,
and
it is.
beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's hard not to be able to relax and decompress when you're in an area that's just so pretty, right? You don't have your phone ringing.
Right.
You don't have, people bothering. You don't have 8,000 cars running by
Yep.
you nonstop. But I get the cold thing, right? I mean, the only problem with up north in the summertime is you got a million bugs that want to carry you away. So we went at the end of the season, which is the best of all worlds because,
hear
it's
the
not
birds
super
chirping.
cold, right? The animals are starting to wake up. It's not super cold. You still have snow, so it's still pretty like that. The ice, the ice and the snow is melting. So the waterfalls that we went by were just
Cool.
raging.
Mm-hmm.
Was you could see the Menominee River was just absolutely just raging like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
moving.
yeah. I mean, I just laid there on the bank for
Yeah.
it
You
felt
weren't
like
going to
an
take
hour.
your horse and covered wagon across there.
Yeah, no, definitely
No.
not. I wouldn't even swim across
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even trying to wade across it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we went up there, spent some time, and just trying to decompress. Trying to the old Calgon thing, right? Take me away, get away from the daily grind or the daily
So you went
issues.
up there. You went up there with your wife,
Right.
right? And you did. Both of you did no work at all.
Well, that's a lie.
So
I did very minimal.
Yeah.
I really did. I did very minimal. My phone most of the time was on silent. Just I had it with me so I could take pictures, because obviously you need the camera there to take pictures. But we did a little bit of work. We did a little bit of planning. We've got a few things in the works right now. But for me, I have to get away from that. Just every time I hear that ping or that ding or something, it's just, you get that bump of dopamine and you're just, you get a high, then you come back down to a low and, trying to regulate your body. So for me to get up there and just try to,
well, Pavlovian, right?
yeah, right. Well, totally. I mean, and that was the design behind these phones and their noises and their pings and their pangs.
Right.
And, I mean, it was built into the system,
So you get away, you decompress, as you say.
Right. Or decompress, relax. I mean,
and then what? How many fights did you guys get in?
Not many. No, no fights, but just disagreements. I mean,
well, that's 4 hours.
Right.
That's 4 hours in the argument box, as I call it. You're shoulder to shoulder for 4 hours.
Yeah.
You can't get out of it.
Yeah.
That's the argument box.
Oh, the car. Yeah. No, actually, the car's pretty good. You're sightseeing, but I mean, our biggest thing that we argued about up there was for me is telling her to get off her phone, get off her computer. Like I told her, I said the businesses aren't going to fall apart if you're not working today.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if there's a real big thing, they all know how to get a hold of us. They can call us and we can deal with it at that point. But, I know it's hard to walk away from these things. And that's why, I get it. But it's like you have to make a concerted effort to do it, to really disconnect, so you can get back to just you, if you will, not thinking about all the problems that we have every day.
Okay.
Right.
However, let's see. What do we got? What do we got here? All right. What do we got? Well, let me try another one here. Let's try this. Yep, you got it, brother. Well,
No, the StreamYard.
is that different?
Yeah. Well, while you're doing that, while you're trying to fix the StreamYard thing, usually when people go away, when I go away, it's to recharge, decompress, right? Get away from the everyday and the typical, what people call the grind, the daily, whatever you're doing, and
Try this one.
reassess what you're doing. If what you're doing is what you really enjoy, if it's working, if it's not working, where you want to go. And for different people, I actually put out there, believe it or not, I did post a couple times on Facebook while I was up there, just asking people.
I want to go back and if your beautiful bride is listening, chime in, of course. Okay, there he is. That sounds like Gary. Welcome in, Gary, brother.
Oh, you were short of a few characters on a link.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. We're having difficulty here today. We're trying to decompress. So you're there. Is she passionate about? Because she was a nurse, right? She's an RN.
She's right.
She's a registered nurse. I guess you'd never. It's like being a Marine. You're always one, right?
Correct.
But now she's running these businesses. She's very passionate about running these businesses.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you're passionate about something, why would you want to get away from it? Okay. So your anxiety, your level of being runs on a different level. So now you're getting mad at her to get off of that because you want her to unplug, but she's fine being unplugged. Right?
Yeah.
So, hey, look who's
back. Here comes trouble.
So
I came to raise Scott's blood pressure.
Please don't.
So, of course, Lisa just walked into the room.
Hi, Lisa.
Let me get her mic on.
Nobody probably wants you to do that.
She doesn't really need one.
Just raising it up and over the top.
You talk.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're getting mad at her, but if just getting away up there and being able to breathe that clean air and just hear the sounds or the no sounds, and then she's still able to do what she's passionate about, isn't that decompressing for her?
In a way it is, but it was meant that when we get away, it's meant for us to get together and to be a couple again, to do things as a couple. Well, if you're working on a computer, you're not as a couple, you're not doing things.
Well, you
together.
could get under the desk.
Well, that's true too. But I mean, so
You are just full of piss and vinegar.
right? I mean, the focus is not what it's supposed to be. The focus when you get away with your significant other is to enjoy each other's company in a manner that you're not doing every day. We can do the back and forth with computer and passion and stuff like that with the businesses every day. And we could stay home if that's the case. So for us to go away, and that's the reason for going away, is a change of scenery to recharge your batteries.
Okay,
right?
So did you set that ground rule with her? Did you say, hey, listen, we're going up there, nothing. It's just me and you, baby, right? I like your glasses. Those nice. Yeah, purple. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
in a way,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
that was part of the thing.
Did you communicate that saying, hey, no work, it's me and you up there. We're going to run around naked in the woods.
Right. Yeah. Basically, that's what I said.
For the love of God.
We're gonna do as much.
Look now,
we're gonna do as much as much together as we can without worrying about the things that we do every day, because we're neglecting ourselves.
And what did she say?
Even if she's passionate about what she does, she's still neglecting her. We're neglecting ourselves in our personal right.
And what did she say?
Which day? Which time?
When you brought this up.
When I brought it
up.
She said, I'll do my best. And I said, that's all I ask, right? Is to do your best, that you could do
But
that.
then you're
She did her
right.
best.
Get off. Yeah.
What's that?
Maybe she did her best.
Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't. I
Well,
don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things for me. And granted, we're all different.
Yeah.
Right. For me to recharge my battery, I need to walk away as far as I can from what's going on and get back to, my inner peace, if you will. I know, like Lisa, she's kind of the same as me.
No.
Like Lisa's similar to me. She when she's got some issues going on and she's thinking about things or wants to think about things, she'll go sit in the woods, right? And just
So why didn't you go sit in the woods while she was on the computer?
I did.
Yeah.
But the whole idea to go up there is to get away together so we can
But you
talk to. We did, but you're not
But
together
you
when
didn't do
one
it his way.
right. But when one person's on a computer and the other person's wanting to go somewhere,
Right.
and
How
do
many
something,
hours a day were we on this computer?
depended on the day. I mean, it wasn't
Guess
super
me.
excessive.
Right.
It wasn't super excessive, but it was not what the original plan was to be. And granted, plans change. I get that's not.
Did
a
you know
problem.
what she's doing? Maybe she was watching some sort of instructional video so that
Well, she was doing social.
she could start a campfire.
She was doing yeah.
If you know what I mean.
She was doing
That's
social
right.
media, that type
All
of
right.
stuff. I mean,
So, Shayna, good morning. Shayna says many reconnect with themselves through group activities like playing team sports, anything that commands full mental and physical attention. And by the way, good morning.
yes. Good morning.
Right. So, so here's the deal.
Do you
right?
want? Can I have an opinion?
Oh no.
Please. madam. Do you need a cup of coffee?
I'll go get one.
I can get you one.
Thanks, that'd be great. Did you ever consider that you guys forgot how to be together? And that's why she had to occupy herself with social media because she didn't remember what that's like and she wasn't comfortable? Because you want to know what the number one problem in relationships is, in my opinion? People forgot why they got together in the first place and why they liked each other.
Oh, I
Because
100%. I know.
So maybe she was uncomfortable and she was doing the best she could.
No, she's.
Why are you deciding for her? She's not
Well,
here to
well,
defend herself.
right,
Don't
but
tell me
no,
what
because we
thought.
talked about it. I can because she's my wife. She's
Oh, oops.
I wanna say, she's right. Like she's not a perfectionist, right? She's
Oh, this
awesome,
smells good.
but she's
Caramel apple.
even overachiever is not a proper terminology, but it's hard for her to really realize that she can walk away from something for a while and it's not going to fail. Right. So it's a nervousness. It's an anxiety that she has that if
So
she's
something
not
that she struggles with.
right.
So maybe she didn't know how. So we go back to my original comment.
Well,
God damn it, woman.
who invited
say
this
that,
woman
right.
here this morning? I had a low blood
I was
pressure.
walking up the
Right.
stairs like, I wonder if they locked the door.
Right.
So,
No.
no, but
So,
I mean, it is,
but-
and that's the reason I brought up Decompress. I wanted to talk
So,
about Decompress
right. So
this week,
let
'cause it's
me-
different for
let me use
everybody
an-
else.
Let me use an example. So this is this year's the 20th year of Man Camp, right? So this September is the 20th year. It's a big deal. And me and Mike and Chad have been doing this for 20 years, right? And people have come and go. You know, we invite, they come, they go. Scott, you were there last year. It was wonderful. And people always ask, well, what do we do? What do we do? We do nothing. We go, we unplug,
You
we,
do whatever just
we
happens.
kill our brain cells, and we do nothing. Right. And everybody's like, oh, okay. And their first year that they're running around doing stuff, they're always doing stuff. And at the end of, they're like, you guys really do nothing. Yeah. Right. And so
for some people, that's hard.
right. But
Like
when
my
you're-
wife.
when you're there,
Thank you.
right? So you were there, you were very active. We didn't care. We're like, you be you, man. This is Man Camp. You be you. This is your 5 days to just get away, unplug, do whatever, right? And you're swimming and paddling and taking pictures and canoing, and people, you know, and Krejci is sitting in a chair.
He never left his
and
chair.
never moved his chair, right?
Right. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because
Yeah.
what's decompressing and relaxing for some is not for others. And so with my wife doing her stuff,
Look at him
right?
stop
It could
me.
be right. So so
Put the
for my
hand up and
wife, I
shut
feel
these up.
I feel that is relaxing to her because she's creating, so she's feeling, you know, she's
Did
doing
you
a value.
consider
Yes, I
saying
did.
to her,
Shayna.
this is what I need out of this trip. This is what I'm going for. This is what I'm feeling about it. What is it that you might need out of this trip?
Yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that quite a bit, and I told her I wanted, you know, it was and I'm not throwing her under.
Well,
the
we
bus
know
by
what
any
you
means.
wanted, but did she get
Well,
a
no,
chance
she
to tell
wanted
you
that
what she
too.
needed?
No, she wanted that too. I mean, I told her I literally wanted to walk around our cabin naked. We had a hot tub. We were on a lake by ourselves, and let's get back to the way we were, or try to when we first got together, to remember why we got to remember together, right? And to be, you know, freer, right? Because we all have things that tie us down and slow us down and stress the shit out of us.
And
right?
you're walking around naked, and she's like,
and that's stressing her
I
out,
I remember when we didn't have those things.
right?
And did you ever consider that connection and how it used to be is here, not here?
Right.
So
So
I'm not talking from, no, the connection I wanted was more mental than physical, right? I mean,
Right.
physical is nice, it's important,
Yeah.
But if you don't have the
Well-
mental connection, right? And that's for me is it was why we had issues,
Right.
because I don't feel she's fully present. I don't feel. Notice I'm using I and feel, right?
Right.
That I don't feel
You
that
listened
she's
well,
full. Yeah,
Scott.
yeah. So I just don't feel that she's fully present when she's thinking about these things that we talked about. We don't need to worry about this week. So I almost think that part of it, and me too as well, that you're almost afraid to actually open back up and really
Did you
connect
know,
with each other a little
did you
bit
know
more,
that
because
many
things
people
have
are
changed.
very, very uncomfortable and actually even don't know how to be very present with themselves, let alone with somebody else?
I know 100%. I'm a perfect example of it.
What you should have done is downloaded the sessions that we have on www.216thenet.
We didn't have great We didn't have great
No, you could
reception.
download it here
Oh.
and take those
Okay.
those
That
sessions.
was one of the reasons we
Actually,
chose
it
where we
would've been-
chose, because the internet service
It would have been
there.
perfect for you up there, the two of you, to just sit
But
in
they
the
had
A nice
Wi-Fi.
meditative connection.
Right.
Right.
It
See,
would have. Of
and
course,
that's-
you can find those out on
Right.
www.216thenet.com.
Right.
Great sessions.
So like our differences,
Right.
like up there, right? So like when we were on this one waterfall, I can't, long slide waterfalls, I think it was, absolutely gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
You got the main waterfall, then you've got the river, and then you've got a couple other
Yeah.
small waterfalls. I found this perfect spot that the rocks were like a lounge chair, right? And nobody was really coming down there. It was just loud enough water to really calm you,
Yeah.
right? The sun was beating down upon our face, and I'm like, this is where I want to be the rest of the day. You know what I mean? I took my
Yeah.
shirt off. I laid on the rocks. I made it a nice, perfect lounge chair. My dog was laying next to me. She was laying there next to me. And she, being by herself in her own head, I think is a tough one, because she's, let's go. Let's keep walking. I'm like, I don't want to do any more hiking. We've already done 8 hikes this week, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we were only there for 5 days. Well, 4 days, 4.5
Right.
days. And we did 8 hikes. I'm like, this is my day that I just want to do nothing, right? And just lay in the sun and relax. And, I call it being a kid again, right? Like have no worries,
Yeah.
no concerns.
So
And
so
she wanted to keep
pops
moving.
pops. The discussion is kind of getting away and decompressing, right? The need for that.
Yeah,
Now, Gary,
decompression and
Gary,
how you do it and why you need it.
Do you and your beautiful bride get away? Is there a place to get away on the island and decompress? Do you do it together?
I'm kind of a lazy person, so I just decompress at home.
Compressed all the time.
Right.
I'm decompressed all the time, actually. Yeah, Scott is right, actually.
Right.
I mean,
You're lucky if you are.
we have nature reserves here. Yeah, we may be a small island, but we have nature reserves. We have birdlands, marshlands. We are actually a major migratory stopover for birds from the north and south hemisphere, because we are right on the equator. So,
Right.
So there are 2 periods when we get major birds traveling from north to south and south to north. So yeah, there are nature places here you can cover, but we don't have a waterfall, unlike you guys. But we do have parks. We have the beautiful, I think you've seen photos of it, the beautiful artificial, futuristic, super sized trees. These are actually metal structures.
Yeah.
So we do have a lot of activities we can do to decompress. But I'm personally a very lazy person, so I just sit at home and decompress, actually.
And I prefer to decompress by myself.
Yeah, right. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't want.
Truly
I
love those
I
guys.
want time. Yeah, totally.
Well,
by
everybody,
myself.
everybody. I mean, that's why I wanted to bring this topic up today of decompression. What does it take? Because like I said, I posted out there. What do you do to decompress, and how do you do it? Like some people need to be with their significant other, and
Yeah.
to
See, to me, that's 2 different kinds of
Well,
things.
right.
though.
So that's what I was going to say. So for me, so it was a decompression, but it was also trying to rekindle things, right? To realize why we got together. The decompression thing is when we separate, like at the end of the day or at the end of the hikes, if she wants to go read her book or work on her computer, that's, I don't want to say that's fine because I
No.
don't control her, right? And that's what works for her. What works for me is literally just like we did at Man Camp. I sat outside because we had a perfect place. I sat out in the hot tub and I stared at the moon. And I just sat there and just.
So she was naked standing in front of you?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
Stared at the moon.
Yes, she was.
See, now
Clothes were
you
optional the
happen to
entire
have
time.
cell phone text access to somebody that if you would have contacted her prior to
When did they
going,
refill that tub?
you
with
could have
water?
said we went to go reconnect.
That's people soup. You're sitting in
Do
other
you have
people's
any
naked bodies.
Every
tools or suggestions of things that we could do to do that, and I would have offered you some.
Right. Yes.
Well,
Of
we'll
course,
talk-
you could
we'll
always
talk
go to
later, yeah.
www.216
Right.
the net.
Well, the ones that I do
Download
are
those.
hard though, because they're
Right.
like really in there. So
And that's,
they're
and
not,
and that's
you know,
what
it's
needs to
not
be
going to
done
be fluff.
right. And a lot of people don't do that. And I mean, I'm at my best when
Right,
I
but-
do get into those and when I get into those deep. And for me to actually really decompress, I do need to be by myself, right? And I think most people do.
No.
But the whole I think most people do as far as a real
I think
decompression.
there's two different kinds of decompression. There's the
Right.
I need to clear and get back into myself,
Right.
by myself mode, and then there is times when
Well,
I
like-
want to go
right.
be with people or certain situations that helps me to block out something else.
Well, so all right. So with decompressing, you know, everybody has a different way of looking at things and reacting to things, right?
Sure.
And best marriages and worst marriages all disagree on things like that. So in order for me to 100% decompress, I need to be by myself and not having somebody say, no, you're wrong, or this is how I look at it. Because you know what? I don't care at that point. I want to know what my mind says. And that's all I care about at that point. And then when I get back to that person, then we can have a discussion and really think, okay, well, this is what you think. Oh, like when I talk to you, I go, oh, wow, I didn't think that way before. Let me think about that. Is that really how I feel? Or is Lisa crazy, or am I crazy, or is it a balance?
Lisa's
of,
crazy.
well, right.
We'll
but-
just
but-
answer that
Right.
for you.
No, but is it a balance of both, right? And
Lisa's aware of it.
it's finding that balance between them, right? But I can't find that balance until I've been with myself to really,
Right.
really, truly think without any outside influence. For whatever reason.
But
when I
there's
was-
a step two to that many people tend to miss when they say, I want to go see how I feel. The step two would be, and I need to ask myself why I feel this way.
Right. So
right, that's part of the introspective.
so-
What's when you're getting
But
introspective?
that's the part people usually miss
so
because they don't want to own anything.
again, words have meaning,
yes.
right? So the word decompress in the Oxford Language Dictionary is relieve or reduce the pressure on.
Well, so using that one
Relieve.
is like decompress your spine, or decompress, yeah,
Right.
But
pressures.
that's also
So
your mind and
that's-
your body.
So maybe it's all right.
Okay.
So I'm going back up there to relax. I'm going up
Okay.
there to relax
So-
and reset.
So again, words have meaning.
Right.
And this is a beautiful thing that Americans tend to do all the time is, wait a minute, that means, you know, in something other than what I'm talking
Well, if you're
about.
You're
going
gonna
to
argue with me on what I'm
trying to
could be saying
explain.
you're taking
So
the
the
pressure off your
Oxford,
mind.
Dictionary says informal North American, calm down and relax.
It's a specific context.
Specifically pointing out that a good old North Americans, it just
It's for you guys.
come up with the word and define it how you want. Don't worry about what it truly means.
Well, there's going to be a whole new dictionary in another year or two with how things are going.
So
Yeah. So I mean, for
So-
me, go ahead, Ken.
here's the deal. The deal is you went up there with the idea to reconnect, to get away, to clear your mind,
And reevaluate
Right.
where I'm at, and where I'm going.
right, and clear your mind. And she might have gone up there to decompress. Right?
Might be two different things.
Might be two different things, right? So, do we need to decompress? I can decompress with people, right? Hey, let's go
Yeah.
golf. I can decompress because I'm out golfing.
Right.
To Shayna's point, give me a basketball. Let me go sit in a bat and watch basketball
Right.
games. I can
Right.
decompress,
Right.
right? I can relieve pressure, you know, or the
That's
pressure
better for
of the
that's
world,
better for
right?
some people than sitting by
So-
themselves because they don't have to get in their own head.
So the idea, so
It's
the
just a different kind of way
Right.
to do it. I mean,
Right.
I'm not afraid to be in my own head, but there's times that I go sit at the biker bar and listen to a band.
right.
And why am I there? Because that's my group of people who don't ask for my help, who don't want me to fix something,
Right.
who don't
They
who don't
just
care
want you
that I
to be
talk
you.
to dead people, who don't, you know
Right.
what I mean? Right. They just let me hang out. They've known me for 40 years.
They just want you to be you.
It doesn't matter if
Right.
my hair's done. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It doesn't matter if I'm in a good mood or a bad mood. That's just me. I just listen to it. But to me, that's relaxing
Sure.
when I'm in a mode of I'm so tired of being pulled in all kinds of different directions.
Sure. What does Bob say there?
Bob says decompression can be defined as a system, quote unquote, to reset themselves from the pressures of society and attempting to obtain the feeling of mental clarity and relaxation. Yeah, and that's how I'm using it, and it could be looked
Sure.
at from a different way, but that's how I look at it. I'm looking to get
and
rid
I'm
of all
gonna
that
use
outside
the word
nonsense.
orange as coffee today.
Orange.
I'll just make
Right.
up a term that makes
But
me
I mean-
feel good.
Right. So for
Right.
me, and my
You
term,
make
my
up a term for me that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So, but for me, that's
Glenda.
it's really
I think you guys call it. I think in over in
Decompress is
Hold on.
important because I'm trying to take the stress out of my brain or off
pressure.
my body,
Right,
the
yeah.
pressure off of my body.
Gary, you said what?
I mean, over. I think over in just now when you read the definition of decompression, it is so specific in the context of usage in North America. But I think the rest of the world, I think we just call it by a simpler, more easily understood term. It's just called distressing. That's all.
Yeah, de-stressing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why for me, some
This
people
show obviously does not de-stress people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't want to. We want to rile you up.
Yeah.
But so, like a lot of people these days, I see, their relaxation or their decompression is spent on the phone. Yours, you spend 3 hours on TikTok. That relaxes you, right?
Yeah,
Because you think it's
sometimes,
funny, right?
Yeah.
Does that just make you feel better about yourself when you watch?
So you
No,
say that
I follow
relaxes
a lot of
you,
comedians and stuff makes me
right?
laugh.
Right. That relaxes you,
Yeah,
right?
sometimes.
That's what works for you, right? That doesn't work for me. For me, decompression
Right.
and relaxation
And
is
what
getting
we-
away from from all of this
And what
electronic
we know,
world that we
and
have.
what we know from this show is
I'm crazy.
no. What we know from this show is you want people to do what you do. Think like me. I need you to think this way.
No, I don't want
right?
people. I don't want people to
And-
think like me. I want people to think why they think, they think, and how they think.
And so
maybe
there
to
was
reassess.
there was a time I wasn't there, but there was a time on your getaway where you got a little frustrated because she was on the computer because that's not what you wanted to do.
Yes,
right?
and that's a selfish thing,
so
right? Right.
That's what I'm saying. So the idea is when we take you would look at me and go, God, get off your phone. I'm like, dude, I'm chilling right now, laughing at TikTok.
TikTok,
right? So it's like
that's
this
a porn site,
right? And you're getting upset at me because you didn't let go at all, right? So there comes a point in our life where it's like, hey, you be you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So let me use an example. Last night, Lucy wanted to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, so we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we had a great server. Princess was the.
You sure you went to Buffalo Wild Wings?
Yeah. Princess was absolutely fantastic, knowledgeable, right on time, friendly, and the gayest African American you ever seen, with nails that you would die for. Just
does it matter that she's
beautiful,
gay
right?
and African American?
So, well, I've got. Well,
It's pertinent to the
make
story.
his point.
right. Princess was a great puppy dog. Doesn't make sense. So yes, in the story, it is important to know that Princess is a gay African American, right?
With better nails than me.
With better nails. I mean, gorgeous. Right? Also has 3 children. Okay. So my daughter sitting there and wondering, hey, what are your pronouns? But she's afraid to ask this person.
Oh, how
right?
she identifies?
How he identifies.
Oh, it was
right.
a guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So the idea, so I just said, hey, let me ask you something, because my daughter's a little shy. She doesn't really want to, what pronouns do you want to use? Okay. And so Princess then goes on to tell us, right? And it was just, and you could see this person just go, just beautifully, like,
Princess did?
Thank you for asking, and right? But one of the nicest people I've ever met, right? And whatever journey they're going through, but that was a moment of decompression for that person. Just
because they
me
felt some
taking
acceptance.
Just
right.
me taking time to go, hey,
people want, basically.
right?
Right.
So and the attitude, the entire, just like, wow, right? Change.
Right.
And so as we decompress, it could be something. I don't know how that day, the day for Princess was going, right?
Right.
But obviously, he. Right. And he said that. He's like, oh, you call me he, a she, a they, a them, listen,
Whatever.
I'm an old gay, and it used to be, hey, girl, don't even worry about it. Right? So the interesting thing is, as I noticed that was a moment of decompression for that person. There was some stress that was released, right? Or anxiety, perhaps.
Right.
So
there was a moment.
Wouldn't you come up to me and ask me what my pronouns are, right? What are you talking about? Right? I'm a he, whatever, right? So that would not decompress me. Right. So I can't say what works or what doesn't work for somebody, but I certainly don't ever want to assume that because I decompress one way, you need to be able to do that too.
Right. Everyone's
Right.
different. And that's why, for me, bringing this up, because it's hard for me to really decompress with everything I've got going on, but it is so essential. And that's more of where I wanted to go, of the essential and the benefits, the health benefits to both you, your family, your friends around you, when you do take care and do that self-care and that decompression, that relaxation, because then you are realistically a better version of you, or the real version of you, right? Because when we're going through these days and we're stressed out and we've got deadlines to meet, we got people bugging the shit out of us, you're on auto mode a lot of times, right? I mean, you're doing what needs to be done and it's a routine. You're not the true Kent or the true Scott. I mean, I met the true Kent, right? Like, I love both sides of you, but the true Kent at man camp, right? When you were just you didn't have to put on a show for anybody else. You weren't in business. You weren't trying to impress me. You weren't trying to impress me. You were just there to let go, right?
I don't ever try to impress anybody.
I was going to
But
say, I think,
I don't ever
I
put on
think
a
that we
show.
all have different,
Right.
we all have different things that we need at different times based on what's going on. We all have different moods and personalities based on the energy around us and what we're doing and what's going on in life. I don't think it's always the same thing. And that's where I think people in relationships especially miss it by forgetting to ask the other person. Things have been really stressful. What do you need?
Right.
Yeah.
What do you need? Do you need something from me? Is there something I can do? What you need? Do you need time for you? What is it that you need right now to feel more centered? Or sometimes, or is there something that could do that? Because sometimes there just isn't in that moment. You know what I mean? It's like, nope, I'm this way. I got to do this. I got to get through it.
Right.
And then I'll do something. But we forget to ask the other person, what is it that you need from me right now? Is there something you need from me? And maybe, truth, you're going to get the answer of, yeah, get the hell away from me.
Yeah.
Okay, but then accept that you're asking them what they genuinely need, and then that
and give them what they say.
So Shayna says, loud music is of my choice, good coffee and something to loud.
Yeah, loud music, yes.
Yeah. and that's true. I mean,
music
Mary
is
Catherine,
beautiful.
that's Mary Catherine's power hour, right? Is that is her, you know, if her windows aren't vibrating in her house and the ground isn't shaking outside of it, she's not decompressing.
Nobody in my house ever liked it when I chose music for the play.
And Shayna says, you know, it's kind of a chemical thing.
Right, it is.
Bob says, what there?
He always make me read his comments like I'm
son.
Jim.
Well,
So he just says
see that far.
the brain is like any other organ in the body. It needs time to restore, decompress, and being away from everyday pressure upon us is one way to achieve that. Right. And that's, for me, that's what works for me. I mean, I like the outdoor. I like outdoors. To decompress for me, like Kent said, you know, some people play basketball. I like to ski. I like to ride my motorcycles. You know, I like to do active things, but my mind still has to be engaged in a lot of those. And a couple times a year, I need to go to where I can just be a marshmallow. You know what I mean? And just do nothing and have no set agenda. So, because for me, with the way my life is structured, I'm going every day, all day long. I love it, you know, because I enjoy creating, moving, changing, but I'm also hurting myself in a lot of ways because I'm not giving myself enough personal space every day, because that's what society has taught us, is that you need to keep going bigger, better, faster, stronger. Right.
Well, no, that's what you taught yourself. That's what from society.
That's what I grabbed from society,
you
right?
Could
growing
try
up,
asking yourself when that starts to happen, what is it that I feel I'll lose if I put this before myself?
Right.
So,
and just ask that question to yourself each time it comes up.
Right. And that for me, and getting away is when I can really evaluate.
But you should be doing it when the occurrence is happening.
So
I'm learning. So
the true thing that
I'll know by the time I die.
The true thing that we have to do is we have to practice mindfulness. It's what nobody knows how
being
to
present.
Practice mindfulness.
Being present,
right?
Yeah.
And that's why you have now all these gurus and people like, hey, you know, join my club and, you know, I'll teach you how to meditate. or whatever. And you're just like,
I'll teach you to lower your
But
blood
mindful
pressure
is just
13
being whatever you are in any given moment.
in
So
the moment.
Mindful,
sometimes,
right.
sometimes being mindful is, geez, I'm an asshole right now.
Absolutely.
What is going on with me?
Thank
I'm an
God you
asshole
said
right
that.
now.
I didn't want to say that.
You know what? You have to kind of stand in line because I'm sure there's a
That's
list
right.
of people with
But
you.
no, and that,
So-
and that's the thing. Being mindful all the time is a way to decompress all day long or at any given time. But
right.
most people don't do that
But
because they're so
self-acceptance
focused.
is
I'm gonna
decompression.
go back. I'm gonna go back to what Lisa said here just a couple minutes ago. Was you need to ask people. What'd you say? You need to.
What do you need?
What is it that you need
Right.
from me right now?
So
if it's somebody that is of value to you that you're in a
100
supporting
times a
relationship
day,
with.
right? I'll always, if I'm talking to somebody or if I'm talking to a client on the phone or I'm talking to whatever, I will ask, and I learned this from a good friend. I will always ask, what can I do to make your day better?
That's awesome.
And they're
See,
like,
I tend to deal with a lot of conflict, so my wording is usually, "What can I do to help this situation or help it
Right.
be more comfortable?"
right. So, but this is just if somebody calls and and we just took an application for a mortgage, and then I'll always just say, okay, hey, things are good. What can I do to make your day better?
Give me the money now.
And nobody ever says that. They hesitate. They hesitate.
You
They hesitate and
actually
go,
freak people out when you say that to them
actually,
because
just talking to you today is wonderful. You know what?
because you should actually
Right.
show that you care. You're not just all about the business.
Because
right?
the majority of people, truly, the biggest thing that most people feel lack of is just genuinely being seen.
Right.
Being seen or heard.
Being seen.
Right.
Being seen more. Well, but being seen means being both. When Ken says that, in truth, he may not 100% of the time mean it, but that person says he's recognizing that I'm here. He's seen me. It's not, how many times do we go to a store and you walk past an employee or you walk, you go into you're shopping or whatever, and you can walk past 100 people and nobody even lifts up their hat or picks up their
Right.
head
I
from the
hate
phone or
that.
whatever. So sometimes just the acknowledgement of, I see you here as a human
Right.
being here with me. And just by saying, hey, how are you?
Right.
Helps. I do it with customers when they call because I have my daytime job and guests call and I have to say a specific thing when they call, and I'll say, may I have your name, please? And they'll tell me and I go, hi, how are you? And I'll use their name to say it. And they're already starting to say what they want from me and they'll go, oh,
Yeah, they're freaked out that
yeah,
you
and they
care.
actually gasp and they'll go,
Right.
I'm well. How are you? And then
Well,
all of a
that's-
sudden the whole tone of the thing goes
Right.
down
Well,
and
you
everybody's
do- you
happy.
de- you-
and I
you
will
relaxed
tell you,
them.
I've had the #1 sales
Right.
every
Well,
single
that's up,
month
Roman.
since I started.
And because you relaxed them
Right.
because you're a typical human. Not I don't want to call you typical. You're caring, feeling,
Careful,
love.
Scott.
You're caring, feeling.
Hold
You're
on.
caring, feeling, loving human, right?
Time out.
And by doing that, that is actually a form of relaxation or helping them to decompress a little bit because they're so stressed out. They're on this mission. This is going to say, do this routine, so to speak, with Lisa.
But our
Get through the
society's
phone
made
call.
this routine for everybody to
Right.
where everybody's in such a hurry looking at the next thing that nobody takes
Right.
the moment.
Right. And you're resetting
That's
their
the way
brain.
you've chosen and what you've
Right.
decided to take
And
away
like
from
I said,
society.
I'm honest with
Well-
you. I have had the #1 sale since the first month I
But when
started
you do
every
that,
single month.
what are you doing what are you doing to them when you do that? You're taking them out of the normal. right? And
because
so
it's actually,
You're
it's
reset.
actually a
You're
brain
reset.
fixer.
Right. You're right. You're
If you
resetting
listen to Tony
them.
Robbins, you watched it.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins does a
I'm
thing
Not
on
Your
Netflix
Guru.
called "I'm Not Your Guru,"
Yeah.
and he throws the F-bomb every 5 seconds. Not totally my style, but when he was interviewed
Fucking
and they
right.
said, "Why do you do that?" He said, "Because what stops? It's the shock factor.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
to stop the brain and go, boom, wait a minute."
Right. It's
And
resetting.
it pulls you into the mindful moment.
That's why if I'm, counseling with somebody, I just show them my nipple. They're not expecting.
I like that.
Stop.
That's how it.
I call it
That
quick
stresses
nipple,
them out.
They have the bucket next
Quick
to
nipple
it.
therapy.
quick nipple shot therapy is what I call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't- I didn't
QNS.
Right.
get my knee out of the way.
And
QNS too.
well, but I mean, even the simple thing that Lisa did, right?
That's funny right
The
there. I don't
simple
care
thing
who
that
you are.
Lisa did, right,
That's
is
great.
important.
There's a
because
T-shirt for you.
a lot. Yeah, positive. I had to move my knees to get my
Oh
nipple.
Lord. Gary's like, why am I staying up?
Yeah,
so late
we
for
love the
this?"
fact that
Yeah, I mean, it's 9:15 over here. Why am I listening to this at 9:15 in the night?
I should have decompressed this morning.
Right,
This-
right.
Come on
I mean,
there.
I think.
So-
I mean, I think it's so many people these days are not getting
Okay.
to any type of relaxation. Real, at
All
least
right,
that I
so-
see, because I mean, we all
Because
see different people.
Many people don't know how.
Right, that's what I'm getting at.
well,
Right?
let me.
So
well,
what's the
hold on.
importance of that?
Well, hold on.
And how could things change?
Gary,
They
do
can buy my downloads and just
do
guided hypnosis.
This is not about purchasing. It's
Singa-
about helping.
do Singaporeans feel the same way, or a lot of them like you, like, you know what? Yes, I have a job, but you know what? I don't have all the stresses of North America.
Okay, so two things. Well, I want to talk about. I want to touch on something. You were talking about decompression and how people decompress. Like Shayna was saying, you should listen to music. Mary Catherine may just pound her house down with death metal and extreme metal. Scott would just want to be a marshmallow and things like that. But back in the days, and I can say that because we are around the same timing. Back in the days, we used to do something to decompress back in the days,
Yeah,
and it was known as a hobby.
There you go. Thank you. And I wanted to bring that in. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we used to have hobbies which were our forms of decompress, de-stress, and escapism, if you want to call it. We had comic books. We have modeling. Plastic models. You guys probably have baseball, a hike. You watch a movie. You play console games, and and of course, in the last, I guess, 10 years, that hobby becomes more digital, and so Ken has a decompression hobby of watching TikTok.
Right.
I think it's inevitable. As the phone and we become more connected, we find more hobbies which are online, digital. So I mean, with respect to what Scott was talking about, the wife, I mean, it's probably her way of a hobby, her way of decompression, but it so happens to be digital. But then to her is she's not. I don't think she bothers whether it's digital. It's just a way for her to decompress.
The problem with using digital for decompression, if that's what we're going to refer to it as, is genuinely partly that how it affects your brain and how you take in the eyes, and that there's so much stimuli that you don't even realize
your brain's
it's going
not
on.
shutting down.
Right. So, but some people don't feel that they need to, but there is a true
it's
difference.
mindless.
So that's why my point is that's why you feel different when you're out in the woods away from the electronics versus when you're decompressing at home. It's a different kind of decompression because those waves.
Sure. Yes. You get different stimuli.
Ears.
Right.
And in your eyes and the blue lights and what have you and all the stimuli that happens, that doesn't really allow your brain to go all the way down, but we don't always need that. Sometimes that's the shutdown, sometimes we need the shutdown. And here's the truth. If you are completely in overload, your brain will shut you down anyway. And that's what I tell people in hypnosis when they say, I've never been hypnotized before. Yes, you have. There's a self-hypnosis that your brain will do. And it's when you come home, and sit on the couch, and all of a sudden you're home an hour and you don't even know what you were watching. And you're just like, oh my God, I've been home an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I do fall asleep sometimes when playing games.
When
playing computer games.
Your brain says, too many message units, I'm down. And it'll just shut off.
I mean, I guess I experienced both types of stimuli because the underground music scene, that's very physical, right? You're like what Shayna or Mary is experiencing. You get music blast right in your face. They're standing in front of a speaker, and then I'm taking photography at the same time. But that's the physical part. Then when I come home, everything becomes digital, right? You upload the videos, you upload the photos, you start to do editing, and then you're looking at the screen. So yeah, I experienced both forms, and but to me, it's fairly normal. It's just that most of the hobbies now tend to be digital, and especially with the internet and with connectivity being so easy. But yeah, I mean what my point was that we used to do hobbies actually for one way of decompression.
Getting away from the norm, the everyday grind.
Years ago, I used to do ceramics.
Right.
But then to answer Ken's question about
kids got bored with it, didn't enjoy it anymore.
About what we do here to decompress. So one of the national I guess probably lack of a better word, the national decompression techniques here is actually food. Food. Yes.
Right, too, that's the problem here.
Singaporeans love nothing more than just
Decompress you.
well,
Just
no.
usually when you're eating and you're using food like that.
Because it's a pleasure-
let
it's a
him
pleasure
finish
supply.
his thoughts.
You can go online and do a search on the relationship between Singaporeans and food. Singaporeans really we enjoy nothing more than just calling each other and say, hey, let's go for a meal, and that's it. We're out there for the next 6 hours at the same establishment.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah,
eating,
you're eating good
drinking,
food, you're
talking,
talking.
eating, drinking, talking, eating, drinking. And then if we feel like, hey, the night is still young, okay, let's move to another place and we carry on eating, drinking, talking, eating, drinking. And before you know it, it's actually 6 a.m. in the morning.
Right, and then that's a good form, and that's a
But there's
right,
a-
but that's
there's
a really
true-
good true
there's a
decompression to
true
that, though, right? Because
Yeah.
Wake Kent up, would you? At 6 in the morning.
But that's
and your inhibitions
Right.
going down because there's a
And that's-
relaxation.
right,
factor
and that's
to it,
why I
hence
wanted to see what
emotional
different
eaters.
people do. Like some people, that is a great decompression for them because you need interaction. No matter what anyone says, you need human interaction. And human interaction for me, actually, even though when we're here, I get not frustrated, but
When
we
Lisa
get each
shows up.
we get each other rolling, right?
All right.
But it is a form of decompression for me because I'm able to speak my mind with intelligent people. Well, some days, but to get different opinions.
I resemble that remark.
I resemble right. But you know what I mean? It's you're going out and you're like if you're with a group of people, you can almost feel validated, right? So for me, I relax when I talk to somebody and go, "Holy shit, you feel the same way." I thought I was.
I mean,
felt that way, right?
but
So
I guess
there's different
I
ways
guess
for me to decompress.
Yeah.
But for me to really get introspective and to really see where I'm at and to try to reset myself, me personally, I need to be away from all of the typical daily
Mhm.
influences that surround me. And for me, that is being on a mountain, skiing, being in the woods, being on just getting away from the typical, right? So I can let my brain, I'm going to use the word decompress or reset, right?
Mhm.
So I can really think about what is really important to me at this
So
point in time.
why do you get mad if someone doesn't do it like you then? Why do you get upset?
Selfish reasons.
Because
Well, so like with up there, right? So
Yeah.
when we're here, we 95% of our day or our interaction circles around our companies, right? As much as I love our companies and what we're doing and that we're able to give back to the community and through donations and helping
sounds like
people
you
and
gotta
stuff.
create some boundaries.
Exactly. Well, that's the
Right.
thing. So for me, it's trying to reconnect with my wife and why I know why I love her and why we're together, and to talk about the future without any outside influences, right? Not worrying about that, answering that email, not worrying about putting out that social media post, be like, hey, this is where we've come, this is where we come from, this is where we want to go, how do we get to that's during the week,
So
right?
what if-
During we're working.
What
but
if you added the vulnerability factor to the mix? Rather than saying this is what we need to do, what if you said, I'm feeling empty and unseen, and I feel like I need love and nurture, and I feel so disconnected from you, and it makes me feel empty.
Right.
When that,
So-
and that's
So
and, that, and
rather
that's
than
part of the
saying this is
conversation.
what we need to
Right.
do, you could say this
But-
is what I need.
Well, that's essentially what I'm doing when I tell her, look, I need you to be here present with me, not on that computer. I need
No,
you.
that's instruction. That's
No,
not vulnerability.
but
That's
I'm telling her
instruction.
this is
Right.
what I need.
You guys can
This-
talk about
No, this is
in a
we're going to
session.
talk after. But no,
Listen.
I'm telling her this is what I need
But listen,
to decompress myself, and
But
for
you're
us to
telling
get
her
to-
what you need
but-
her to do. You're not saying what
I'm-
you need. There's a difference.
but
But listen.
I need her full but I want her full attention. I want her
But
to be
listen.
with me.
But
I don't want
listen.
her to be someplace else.
but listen, here's the thing is we've all been there. I've been on several vacations with my family, with my wife, and I am the person through my day. I have my calendar is bombed, right? And if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. That's just the way that I lead my life. It's got to be on my calendar. When we go on vacation, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to have to be someplace at a certain time. I don't, whatever happens, I'm on vacation trying to get away from that. And Alice is, it's taking her a long time to go, wait, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to sit and be. Well, sure. Why not?
Well, she's used to go.
Well, that's what a vacation was for her growing up. Is her dad's an engineer, so we have a schedule. We're going to roll in. We're going to set up the tent at 9 p.m. We're going to sleep until 5. We're going to get up, drop down the tent.
But if
we're
you
going to
guys
go
were
right.
on vacation and she knew that that's how it was going to be, but she said, "Hey, we're going to be at such and such place, and in this area, there's this thing I'd really, really like to do while we're there. Would you please do that with me?"
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
the give and take.
Right.
That's the
No,
hey,
no.
I get what you want to do,
Right.
but I need this while we're there. Would you please do that with me? And it's
Right.
the vulnerability of saying, "This is what I need. What do you need?" and finding the balance.
Yeah, no. So
It's always about finding balance,
Right.
no matter what you're doing.
and he says, Gary made a great statement regarding hobbies. It's a good one. Hobbies can be defined as the activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure to escape the reality of the world. Yeah, I mean,
True. Yes.
building
Yeah.
rockets or whatever. But I think that I think we have to understand it. You need a week or 5 days to decompress, right? You need that. She may need 10 minutes. Right.
Yeah, it's different for everybody, and that was
so you can't get upset with her. We came up here to decompress. You're on a computer the whole time. I did decompress. Thanks. It took me 10 minutes. In and out.
Right.
Done. And now I'm doing what I'm passionate about, and that's okay.
right.
Right.
And it is,
okay.
and that's
Right.
like when that post that I put out there. How long does it take some people to decompress? Because for me, truly to like get into relaxation mode to where my body's not just ready to go and
Mhm.
thinking about the 20,000 things I have to do. It takes me about 4 days, and I literally. I can just feel it when I
Right.
wake up, and my
So-
body is just so. It's like, all right, I'm back to homeostasis, to where my body is just existing. It's
Right.
ready to do what I
Which
want to
then,
do
as
when
an
I want to
outside
do it.
observer, I'd say you need to figure out how to do that on a daily
I
basis.
was going to say it, but I
Right.
didn't want to
I
be
mean,
that girl again.
You
Yeah,
gotta-
that tells you that your body needs to do that every day, whether it be for 15 minutes or
Right.
whatever, but that you need to find time every day. Because if it really takes you 4 days for your body to go back into coherence,
I mean, it's
that's
tough.
that you're a walking heart attack. I mean,
Yeah.
that
But
your body can't stay in hyperdrive nonstop like that. And if it's genuinely 4 days to get it down, that's your body can take it.
you're in a very unique situation as well, because you run a family business with your family, and a lot of times the hardest thing to do is punch out,
and separate those things.
right? And separate those things.
Right.
There are some people
that's
who
more
do it
what
very
I'm
well,
saying.
and there are some people who
Right.
don't. And if it's a passion, it's one thing. If you're both passionate about it, but yeah, I mean, the hardest thing to do is, especially in sales, I'm in sales, you're in sales, is to punch that clock. If the phone rings, that's dollars, right?
Well, same here. Yeah, when my phone rings,
I've
it's
got to
up.
do that. So the hard thing is, where do you find that on a daily basis to decompress? Now,
Well, it's finding a routine.
3 times a week now, I'm coaching 7th grade girls basketball. I'm in the gym. It's a great place for me to decompress, because I've been playing basketball since I was 18 months old. I absolutely love it. I love it. If you were to say, where's your happy place? It's in the gym. It's the squeaking of the shoes. It's the smell of the sweat. It's listening to the ball go through the net, right? I can just, that's heaven to me. Right. And people be like, you're crazy. It's loud. It's echoey. It's this, it's that. People sweat, spit,
Right.
and I can go watch games for hours, right, in the gym. I can watch games for the squeak of the shoe, right? And people are like, what? Your happy place isn't like when your kids were born? No, that was very happy. But if you want
Well, it's
me
not
to
a
go to
happy place. That's
where
a
I can
happy
just go,
moment.
right? Now,
Right.
at the same time,
Right.
I coach.
Right.
My veins, I'm spitting. I got veins popping out because I want the girls to play hard.
And you know
right?
why
That's
that, and
release
you know
of
that,
energy,
right?
too.
Well, you know
Yeah.
why that's your,
Allowing that.
but you know that's why that's your happy place or your decompression. That's because that's something you're passionate about and you love, right?
Yeah.
So
Thanks,
it's
Shane. I hope you have time to decompress this weekend.
Thanks, Shayna. And that's why I wanted to talk about this week, because it's different for everybody. You and me, a lot of times our relaxation is doing things,
Yep.
something different, right? For some other people, like my wife, she wants to be on her computer. It's hard for me to understand that. I'm getting it more and more, right? But it's still hard for me because we come from different backgrounds, so to speak. And I'm a people pleaser. We've talked about this. I know that. And it's so me trying to please her by saying, get off your computer, it'll help you. I don't know that. I'm saying it because I know that's what helps me.
Right.
Learning for me to shut my mouth and not say that is important. And I'm learning, right. But I'm learning that. But for me, it's hard for me to understand, like, let's just say it's hard for me to understand, just like, oh, Kent, how the hell do you decompress by being in a loud, noisy gym with basketball? That just seems like way too much, overload as far as input in your head. How do you know what I mean? Well, it's not, because for you, that's your Zen moment. That's where you're like, this is probably brings you back to childhood to a certain point, the happy days where there wasn't a lot of, responsibility. There's no outside influences, right? And that's where it's all different for everybody. And that's why I wanted this show today. And I think we can probably almost continue next week a little bit on this thing, because I want to understand where people and what people are doing and how it's helping them, because maybe it's going to help me or help Lisa or help you. Like, some people meditate, some people do yoga, some people run marathons. You know what I mean? Some people listen to loud, heavy metal music or whatever, and it explain how that works for them, what it does for them. Basketball, I get for you.
It's not always just one thing. I think it's all going to be different. I've had clients ask me, how do I get all this stress? How do I get all this anxiety in my body? And truthfully, one of the techniques that I've given that people laugh about and then they do it and they go, oh, I get it now, is to take a pillow and beat the hell out of your bed and scream everything you really feel.
Yeah, you asked me to do that.
Yeah, and literally do it.
I ripped my pillow apart. I had to throw it out.
You do it by yourself,
I did too, but Alice wasn't out the bed yet. This game, it was the whole thing.
I forgot that I had a down. I forgot that I had a down pillow.
It
was like snowing in my room.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you're taking out an inanimate object.
But it's also releasing the thought, because the energy has to have somewhere to go.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
All right. So we're past our allotted
Sorry,
time.
I stopped it, everyone.
But I absolutely love you.
Yeah,
being
she's
here.
not
Thank
allowed
you.
anymore. We
Great.
get rid of her key, would you?
She's welcome all the time, because we always get riled up.
Yeah, and that's good,
And I
because
don't
she makes
always
us
have
look
to
at
be
it.
the antagonist.
That's why. That's why my life is how it is.
But here's the deal. Come back for Bridging Civil Tension. Today, we're going to be talking about what's been creating the most tension out there. And that is, so here's the joke that it is, and that we'll talk about is Liam or Leah. What's her name? The swimmer.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah, Leah Thompson was out there winning all these swimming races. And again, a reporter said, hey, do you think it's very good? Leah said, listen, I wish y'all would just stop asking me this. I am a woman, and if you don't like it, you can suck my dick. So come back here. That's just
wow. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
really
and hence, people, this is why I do not pay attention to news, social media, and anybody's comments.
Come back for Civil Tension, because that's a whole big thing. And Phil and I are going to be talking about it. It's going to be great. Come back, Civil Tension, as we talk about that. Thanks, folks, for tuning in. Of course,
thanks, Gary, for letting me know I need to move to Singapore, so my eating is a good thing.
This here brought to you by our good friends over at Reese's Barkery
Can you find me a nice
and
Singapore man?
Boutique, and awesome stuff. So, all right, everybody, be good to one another and come back.
Free live music tonight, by the way, at the Vixen in McHenry.
Live music. Vixen.
Jimmy Nick.